This is a look at the SBM calendar views. In this demo, we will take a look at when to use a calendar view, how to create a calendar view, and sharing the calendar view with others. We will be using the sample time off project. In this project, users can record vacation or sick time or jury duty or other time off requests. Specifically, we will be looking at two IT managers, Tammy and Zach. They would like to see the overall IT schedule, but they would also like to see their individual team schedule. Currently, Tammy and Zach use a listing report to see who is going to be in the office and who has vacation coming up. Looking at a list of dates is difficult to read. This is a perfect example of when you can use a calendar view. To create a new calendar, we're going to go to our time off project, go to Calendars, and then click Create Calendar. Let's go ahead and give our calendar a name. We could also give our calendar a description, but we'll skip that for now. Down in the Calendar Feed section, this is where we can define the different feeds for our view. We do not have any feeds set up right now, so we're going to click New. The feed we're creating is based off of records that are in SBM, so we're going to choose Calendar Feed. Next, we choose our application. This is the Employee Time Off application. Click Next. And now we can select the project. We only have one project here, so let's go ahead and select it and click the plus to add it to the other side. Let's do Next to get to the next page. On this screen, we are selecting if we want to filter by owner. In this example, we are not working with owners. We're working with the manager of the user who's taking time off. So we will just set this to no filter for now. There are other filters here, such as filtering by the user who is looking at the calendar view, or filtering by the users or groups that are selected. If you choose this option, you would select the users and groups down here in the bottom. Let's go ahead and go on to the next screen. This is the criteria screen, which is much like the filters when you're making a report. So I'm going to add in our filters. We're going to filter based on state. I do not want to include anything that is canceled or rejected. So I'm going to change this. And I do want to filter also on manager. And we're going to do Tammy first. Okay, it's hard to explain why we want to add Tammy to this filter on this screen right now, but you will see it in action once we get our feed set up, and then it will become clear. So let's just select Tammy for now and keep going on. Okay, and next. This is the screen where we select how this is going to look on our calendar. First, we need to select a start date. So anything on the calendar is going to start on a date and then end on a date. So let's go ahead and choose begin date and end date. This will show on our calendar when our employee's vacation time or sick time began and when it ended. On our calendar, each event is going to show up as a bar. By default, the color of that bar is this blue color. For my personal preference, I think this blue is too dark, so I'm going to click the blue and pick a lighter color. I'll just go one shade lighter. I can also select a field and have the values in that field show as different colors. That's kind of fun, so let's go ahead and select state. Now we can see each of the values that state has and the color that is going to show for that state. This color scheme is fine in general, but I'd like to make our items that are waiting for approval a different color. I want them to stand out so I can remember that I still need to approve this one. Let's make it orange. If we scroll down, we'll see the icon section. By default, each event will have no icon at all. But I can set up icons. Let's go ahead and do that so you can see what it looks like. When I click the box, I get the display of all the different icons that are available. I'm going to select this clock. I'd also like to have a different icon for each different type of leave. So let's select Leave Type. Now we can see the default for every type is going to be this clock, but we can also change them. For example, maybe we want jury duty to be this federal looking building. Maybe we want sick time to, I don't know, maybe it could be this sad face. Maybe we want bereavement to be this flower. Okay, I think that is all of the settings, so let's go ahead and click Next. Now it's time to save the feed, so we're going to go ahead and give this a name. Tammy's Team Calendar. How about that? I'm going to be sharing this calendar later with all the IT managers, so I'm going to make this a public feed. That way other people can view the feed as well. I'm going to skip the description for now and just click Save. We now have Tammy's feed in our calendar view. Let's go ahead and add one for Zach as well. So we will click New. It's another calendar feed, Employee Time Off. Our project is going to be our time off project. Next. We are not going to filter by owner. We're going to set up this criteria the same as we did before. We're going to say state and does not contain canceled or rejected. And this time we are setting up the manager named Zach. So let's pick Zach and say OK. All right, next screen. And now our display options, we're going to make them the same as we did for Tammy. The begin date and the end date. And I'm going to pick a lighter color, blue. We'll use a different color for each state. And we're going to make the waiting approvals orange. Next is the icon section. Let's go ahead and choose our clock again. Just as we did before, we're going to choose a different icon for each type of leave. For jury duty, let's pick this federal building. For sick time, we'll pick the sad face. And for bereavement, we'll pick this nice flower. Okay, let's go ahead and say next and give it a name. We will pick public so other people can use our feed, and we'll skip the description and click Save. Now we have a feed on our calendar for Tammy and a feed for Zach. Let's go ahead and save this and see what we got. Let's go ahead and open up our IT schedule calendar that we just created. Now that we have our calendar view open, we can nicely see exactly who is on vacation or will be out of the office for the full month of April. It's a very nice visual display. Notice that most of the items on here are blue. That's the color we selected. And this is the orangey yellow one that has not been approved yet. It nicely stands out because it's a different color. When there are too many items on a single day to display, we will get this little More message. If you click on the message, you'll get the full list of everything that's going to happen on that day. Another nice feature are all of these check marks on the side. Right now we're looking at Tammy's calendar, which is checked, and we have Zach's calendar, which is checked. If I was Tammy and I wanted to see only my team's vacation, I could come and unselect Zach. That would remove all of Zach's team's items from the calendar. This is why I wanted to put Tammy's team and Zach's team on separate feeds. That way they would get these little check marks and could be added and removed to the calendar. Similarly, if you only wanted to see sick time, you could uncheck the other options and you'd be left with only the sick time. Both of these, the state and the leave type, are the fields that we selected on the display screen when we were setting up our feeds. Tammy's calendar is expanded right now, but we could also click this little arrow to get all the same options for Zach's calendar. As you can see, this type of calendar view is a lot easier to visualize what is going on with your team and exactly when people will be out of the office. Calendar views are also helpful to show release dates or IT updates that are going to be going out or other activities within the organization. Calendars are a lot easier to visually see rather than a listing of dates in a list report. Now that our calendar is created, let's go ahead and share this calendar out with other people. So we're going to close it. Let's go ahead and edit our calendar again. We share our calendar using the Sharing tab. On the Sharing tab, we can select exactly who we are going to be sharing this calendar with. You can use the search box to search for users or groups by name or scroll through the list. For this calendar, I'm really trying to share it with Zach and Tammy. So I'm going to find their group and just click the little plus. If we also wanted to share the calendar with the whole team, I might choose IDM Team and click the plus. By default, anyone who is added as a viewer. If I also wanted to allow Tammy and Zach to update this calendar, I might want to change from viewer to be a collaborator. Now the IDM managers, that's Zach and Tammy, can also be collaborators and change this calendar if they need to. And now we will save our change. Now that our calendar has been shared, when Tammy or Zach log into the system and go to the calendar screen, they will automatically see the IT schedule in their list. If Tammy and Zach will use this calendar often, they might want to click the star to pin it to the left side. Now the calendar will be easy to access anytime they want to view it. Thank you for joining us.